Yeah, well, I'm very excited about the Next Gen Precision Health facility right here on Mizzou campus. It's a collaborative partnership between the University of Missouri and the Veterans VA Truman Veterans Hospital, as well as the private industry coming in to do research to provide personalized medicine. And this is just the future, and it's really exciting that it's going to be happening right here as the researchers here are going to try to develop personalized treatments for cancers, new personalized treatments for Alzheimer's, ways to early detect autism. It's just very, very exciting. I'm proud to support it at the federal level, have been supportive in the appropriations process, and we're excited to have it here. It's going to start off with 1,000 jobs, and potentially by 2045, they told me today that it could move up to 7,000 new jobs, $5.4 billion economic impact for Missouri and for this area. And so this is something we can all be so proud of, and I'm looking forward to the great medical advancements that are going to come from this facility right here on our campus. Well, the voters clearly spoke that they wanted more individuals, working adults, to be able to access Medicaid. And I certainly am supportive of individuals getting health care, but I am concerned about the financial ramifications for the state of Missouri. There was no new funding stream for that, even though the federal government pays 90% of that right now. 10% of that will be coming from the state government budget. And over time, the federal government will be ratcheting down their support. And so the Missouri legislature and Jeff City is going to have to figure out where that money is going to come from. And as a former teacher, you know, I'm concerned it could mean potential cuts for education and things. But that's something that the legislature will deal with, and the voters have spoken. Well, this pandemic has been unprecedented. I mean, no one in the world has experienced this, so we've all been kind of learning as we go, and I was very pleased that he took decisive action early on to stop traffic coming from China, where we know that this virus originated in Wuhan, and that has saved tens of thousands of lives, just that initial move. And then standing up the task force with Vice President Pence leading that has been very effective, I think, in providing information as we have learned more about this virus. And I'm very excited about Operation Warp Speed, which is underway, trying to find in record time a vaccine for this virus. And to think that we are already at stage 3 trials for 3 different vaccines, while at the same time already producing those vaccines, so that if they prove effective and the FDA approves them safe, then those doses, over 100 million doses, will already be there ready to go out, and the public to be able to start receiving these vaccines. So I'm pleased with that. You know, there's still a lot of unknowns with this virus. Things are changing on a daily basis, but I'm pleased with the progress that we have made.
Is there a timeline expectation on that vaccine delivery? Is it weeks? Is it months?
Well, from the initial reports and the briefings that I have received, they're saying they're looking very promising. They're hoping that maybe by the end of the year or sooner that we could have these vaccines. Of course, we don't know, but we have never at any point in vaccine development been at this point so rapidly. So that is encouraging when you all come together as a private partnership between the government and private entities, what you can do, and hopefully we'll be able to have this on the market very soon. Well, taking the information that we have and making those common sense decisions that we need. Certainly, they say, and we know that viruses, whether it's cold, the flu, or coronavirus, can be killed just by simple hand washing, and that's something we all learned in kindergarten, but a lot of people got away from. So hopefully we can do that. We can, you know, if we're sick, stay home, just be considerate of others, wear facial coverings if you're in a tight area. Those just practical steps, I think, are important. But I think we also need to be practical and not give in to fear either, to keep a perspective on this. And so, you know, we just need to balance both. Well, under President Trump, we had record economic growth. I mean, unemployment was at all-time lows. There was more people working in every category than ever before. Wages were increasing, optimism was up. And so I feel like he's the person that we need to help move us and recover back. And we are already seeing a huge amount of job growth and moving forward. I think the biggest challenge right now is to try to encourage those states to open up who are still shut down. We need people to get back to work, and people need to get back to work. Kids need to go back to school safely and responsibly. And you know, there's no one easy formula, but I think that should continue to be the goal. Well, Congress, as you know, has already passed over $3 trillion of help to send to individuals, to send to families. We shored up some of the health care in our rural hospitals, research to try to come up with new vaccines and therapeutics, and help to our small businesses to keep people working. And right now, of the $3 trillion that we've already appropriated, $1 trillion has not been appropriated yet. They're still in the process of developing the programs, accepting applications for the various programs. And so I would like to see that money go out before we do just a blanket spending of an additional $2 or $3 trillion. Right now in Washington, the President and the leaders from the Senate and the House are talking about perhaps another relief package. And I am hopeful that they just look at where the needs still are and that it be a targeted approach. I don't think we need to go further in debt just across the board and have a knee-jerk reaction just because, you know, we want to do something. I think we should do a thorough analysis of where the needs are and then target our money in that areas. And we've got to be concerned about that. It was a very sobering vote to vote for the CARES package, which was $2 trillion, because we are $26 trillion in debt, and that is something that we're going to pass on to our kids and our grandkids, and impacts our economic growth right now. And so those decisions need to be made wisely and soberly and judiciously, and look at where there are genuine needs that would warrant going further in debt as a nation. And I'm part of a bipartisan task force in Washington, half Democrats and half Republicans, looking at ways that we can get towards our spending under control and get towards a balanced budget. Because we recognize on both sides of the aisle that this is unsustainable and that we have got to start spending taxpayer money wisely and not spending money that we don't have. Well, we should listen to them. In the House, I know I've co-sponsored the Justice Act, which would call for more training for our police officers. It would allow for there be the information about those few rogue officers who are out there, who are bad actors, so that when hiring comes for a next department, they have that information. And to look at some of these policing methods that have come under fire to see if they're really needed and to take steps to stop them. The House passed a version of their police reform bill, and the Senate wanted to bring up their version, which was similar to the Justice Act like I sponsored, but they, the Chuck Schumer blocked it from coming up for a vote. And I just don't think that's a good place to be. We need to continue to talk, not only in Congress, but as a nation, compromise, listen to each other, and come together on things that we can agree on. You know, this is an important topic. Some of our American family is hurting. They feel like they're being treated unfairly, and we need to listen to them, take that seriously. At the same time, both sides need to listen. But certainly the violence that is taking place is not the answer, and we need to stop that. Side is always, you know, 2020, but I think overall the response has been prudent and been proactive, trying to stop the threat, stop people from coming into our country from areas that we knew had the virus when we didn't have it yet, whether it be China and then Europe, trying to encourage people to take those proactive actions, individual things that they can do themselves, from washing hands to social distancing, and focusing on getting resources to where it's needed to keep the economy going through the loans available to businesses, getting help to individuals to keep the economy going and help them when they're hurting, unemployment, and sending help to research and to find a cure and to find treatments. So I think overall, in this unprecedented time, we have really focused on areas that need to be focused on, and will continue to.
How would you assess Missouri's response in handling of this?
I think it's been very good. You know, we in the federal government sent out $150 billion to the states for them to disperse to the counties and cities to help meet the expenses that have been incurred through coronavirus. And over 30 of those governors, 30 states, have kept the money themselves at the state level. They have not dispersed it on down to the county and city level, which is a huge issue that we are trying to deal with in Washington. But in Missouri, I'm very proud of Governor Parson and the legislature that very quickly moved that money out. It is there in the county levels, and those individuals who incurred those costs have a mechanism to get that money reimbursed.